me coming out, and I just have to live, and I wanna give. I'm completely positive. I think this time around I am gonna do it like you never knew it. Oh, I'll make it through. The time has come for me to break out of the shell. I have to shout that I am coming out.
Welcome to the show Never Too Late Ever, where we focus on making the next chapter of your life the very best chapter. And we're here today to make it even healthier. I am your host, Lorraine Hoving from It's About Time, and I am so glad you are here today. This day could change your life. Open your heart, your ears, and listen, and you will find a gem, a treasure, just even one treasure that you can apply to your life today. And I'm excited to have the guest that we had last week, and her name, I call her Chef Rhonda. Hi, Chef Rhonda, how are you?
I am so great, so honored to be back with you again. Thank you so much for having me.
I am delighted. So, you know, if you could see Rhonda, I have watched her on her show, and she has Rhonda, I just want you to know you have a smile that just lights up the world.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah, so I can even feel it, even though we can't see each other. Let me tell you a little bit about Chef Rhonda. She is the founder and CEO of and I pronounce it Delicious. Chef Rhonda is a firm believer in let food be thy medicine and medicine thy food, with the goal to create wholesome foods and teach others the value of healthy choices. And as we get older, that is so important. Chef Rhonda is an author, a speaker, a vegan recipe developer, and a trainer. She currently, is in the process, which we learned last week, of moving to her retreat about 200 miles from Phoenix to a 506 acre?
Yes.
Sustainable property off the grid. Off the grid sounds good to me, where she holds cooking, gardening, solar, and sustainability classes to teach others how not to depend on the government for survival. And we all know about that, all the while living a healthy, happy, and energetic lifestyle, which we all need. Beyond the realms of just the U.S., Rhonda has traveled to multiple countries. In every country, she learns about the culture and the food. She is a wife, a mother of two, and she enjoys quality time with her family on her horse ranch. Well, you have horses up there, I'm sure you will.
Yep.
And traveling. Also, she keeps busy on her physique, health, spirituality, and intellect. Rhonda enjoys reading, exercise, attending seminars, collecting antiques, participating in civic affairs, and donating time to her prison ministry. That is amazing. So, because I read all that, I almost got exhausted just reading that. That shows me that the food that you must be eating gives you a lot of energy, right, Rhonda?
That's right.
I believe it. I believe it. Okay, so last week we discovered that she is a vegan. You've been a vegan for how many years? Since 2002
or 2004, excuse me.
Okay, so I had a question from our last one. When you became a vegan, it's 2004. It is now it was 2004. It is now 2020. Did your health change when you did that?
Yes, I lost weight. I have more energy. I think clearer. Yes, and I'm healthier.
Yes, I would think so. And now you called this show the Arc of Sustainability. What do you mean by the Arc of Sustainability?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. When I believe in what's going on, as I witness everything around me and around us as we're being bombarded by the media and everything going on, there's got to be a way of having stability in our life. And so when I talk about the arc of sustainability, it's actually our property. It is the ark. And what we will be doing there and have done is bring people to the ark and teach them skills so that they have those skills to be able to be in survival mode when it comes time. Because we're seeing more and more disasters, whether we've got the fires in the Northwest, we've got the hurricanes in the East Coast. There's just so much going on. They've had the derechos in the Midwest. I mean, we're watching and witnessing so much more going on today than we ever have. And so the Arc of Sustainability is really going to be a interactive, hands-on arena where people can come and learn, bring their families and come and learn and be sustainable.
How exciting. So this Arc of Sustainability is actually the 500 plus acre retreat that you were moving up to.
That is correct.
So tell us like you've had retreats up there already and taught cooking classes. What will this look like? Because I love that idea. So are you going to have places where people stay so that they can stay at the retreat and then learn?
Yes, the first few times we did it, people came up with their campers or their tents or whatever. At this particular time, like I said before, that I was living in Phoenix and I'm moving out there. When we sell our home here, we'll be building a facility on the property for people to come and stay in. But we have a few tiny homes out there as well. Wow. And I've already built a giant kitchen and it's got it has everything it needs. Right now, we're just building the actual facility for people to come and stay. So the answer to that would be yes. In the very near future, we'll have that erected.
How exciting. I can hardly wait to see your kitchen. Now, have you done any of your filming up at that kitchen?
I have.
Oh,
we've filmed up there as well. Yes.
Yeah. How exciting. So, and then you're going to be doing all the food, growing all the food, and then it says you'll be collecting seeds.
Correct. So one of the things is when you grow food, it's important that when you grow something, you might not have a really grand crop, but once you pull the seeds from the crop that you just grew, they become climatized to the climate that you're in. There's so much to growing food that people really just think, oh, if I just throw this in the ground, it's going to grow. Well, that's not always true. And then things have different zones and whatnot. So when it comes to growing food, and then once you have it, if you let it bolt or go to seed, it's really important to cut that off and then save those seeds. If you're doing any type of melons or tomatoes or something, you can pull the seeds out of them and save them. But seeds to me in this day and age are so important because there seems to be a shortage.
Boy, that is really interesting. It really is a science that you'd have to submerge yourself into to learn a lot, right? I mean, it just wouldn't be that simple. It would be. So your retreats, how many days does somebody come, and do they just take cooking classes, or do you go into right down to the basics?
So the program that I am designing right now, we've done it where the people have come and learned and walked around and found edible plants and looked at the solar or did dehydrating classes. Yeah. But I'm creating a more of the sustainable arc, which will start with, we've got our 8 laws of health. We've got exercise and fresh water, fresh air, good food, spirituality. I mean, there's so many wonderful things. We need to have good rest and temperance in all things. And these are basically your 8 laws of health. Well, we need to trust in the Lord as well. So we want to start our day, and people can or don't have to participate in starting the day with getting grounded and, having that little spiritual time. And then we want to teach people about how to live off the grid without the system. And so there's water that's important. Well water, how you're going to get your water, how you're going to grow food. There's composting that's important in that. You need to know how to have your soil system properly. You've got to be able to plant. People will be able to come up and plant in the season if it's planting time, or if it's harvesting time, they can go out and pick it, depending on when they come and go and how it works. So all of these things are actually part of it. And then farm to table, how to take it from the ground and bring it into the kitchen and creating that. There's also things that people just don't understand. And when it comes to saving your seeds, that helps eliminate anything in a food shortage. And when you can actually live off seeds by eating them. In the Bible days, they used to grind those seeds, right, and make cakes.
Right.
And so people don't really think about that. So we just want to bring people back to the basics, and it's really important. When you were little, I'm sure that you had things going on in your life that were, we had home economics, and we had, there was woodworking and auto mechanics for the boys, and there were different things going on that people were engaging in, and we don't have that anymore. So we want to bring people back to the basics in order to have those things, which are really, really important, because that gives them the insight on how to do things, which are, it's a good barter and trade.
Right.
If I need to feed my family and I don't have any money, maybe I can fix a rich person's fence because I have a skill. Right?
I think that there's a need and a hunger for this in our society right now. So I think that for somebody out there in the audience, this is an exciting thing, and you're going to definitely want to look Chef Rhonda up. Now, do you believe that there is a food shortage, or there will be a food shortage, or what is your take on that?
I believe we've been in a food shortage for the last 4 years, for sure.
Can you explain that?
Pardon me?
Can you explain why we are in a food shortage?
Yes.
Because I've had plenty of food.
We've had plenty of food, but when you go to the grocery store and you wander the aisles, you'll notice that they are short. There's not as same amount of food in the aisles, and then the selections are different. You might not find your favorites anymore because they don't make them anymore. The other part of it is when they had the floods in the Midwest, that wiped out part of the crops. Now they're used to making corn for their ethanol, and then again for food and feed for the animals, and then for the people. Well, there's a shortage in that. We also know with the derecho that just went through the Midwest, it wiped out the corn, it wiped out the soy. And so there's a lot of things going on in our food society that is a little different than what it has been. When I go to the grocery store, the packages are way smaller and the prices are a little bit more. So that will tell you that we're going through something because of the fact that everything has changed in the grocery store. Right. I was in the store yesterday, and the vegetables are, there's not as many things going on in the store at all. So we know that if you pay attention, you'll notice it. More junk food is on the rise, more natural foods are disappearing, and it's just different. Things have changed a lot.
That's interesting. You know what? That I'll have to observe now that you have mentioned that. Now, you are going to be off the grid. So off the grid means not relying on the local power company, all of that, right? You're just okay. So tell me about that a little bit.
Okay, so when you look at going into your local town and Joe Blow calls you up and they say, hey, we'd like to put solar on your house, and the solar that we put into your system is going to feed the power grid, and then you're going to get kicked back and do all this stuff, and you're bouncing back and forth with solar on your house, which is to eliminate part of your solar or your electric bill. That's the norm for everybody. When they're thinking about solar, they're going to add it to their grid and get that discount. When you're completely off the grid, it's a whole different system. You have to have converters, inverters, and battery banks. And so each battery is like $350, $400 for a battery that's going to store power for you. And then you need to have an inverter and converter, a grid system to take the power from the solar panels that you have out on your property that will come and be stored in your batteries, that is going to store that for the nighttime. And then that inverter converter is going to transfer it into power, and then it will feed out into your electric outlets, into your home or whatever. So most people, when they think solar, they're connected to the grid. When I talk about cutting the ties with any part of any local power company, we're talking about completely cutting that grid completely off and doing it solo. So you're getting your batteries, you're getting your system, you're getting your solar panels, And they're making it more and more affordable by getting these panels a little different and different types of inverters and converters. So there's different ways of doing it, but it's really interesting